He's got a chance to really reset his legacy and become a transformative and potentially great president. I think he's got a great chance to do that. It'll be down to him and his team. But I do think that. But I do just think when I watched him in Notre Dame.
Reset his legacy? Does that mean his legacy right now is really bad? Or?
I was like, you know, he's back and he's swaggering, and America looks like it's got someone in charge who actually does want to make America great again, and people are feeling it.
Yeah, well, I mean, to just listen to the analysis from the lib on the panel, he says immediately, well, yeah, how could he come up with such an analysis based on only talking to 2 or 3 people when the whole world hates this guy? Like, he's talked to the whole world, right?
There's literally polling data from how the world viewed Trump and America. I'm pretty sure like every country but like 2 had a pretty negative view of him, and the United States under Trump's rule. But do you? Okay, let me grab a Red Bull. Hold on.
Suddenly, Piers Morgan's anecdotal evidence isn't good, but his is. He's talked to nobody.
It's not my anecdotal.
It's hang on, man. Hang on. It's not your turn. It's not your turn, Lib. Calm down, Lib. So anyway, listen. It's very, very clear to me.
You are
it's
so,
very stop.
I don't know how you think.
Let me get it out. Can I get it out? Can I get it out before you start?
Go ahead. Hear yourself talk. Go ahead.
So anyway, I'm trying to.
This is in 2020. How people around the world see the U.S. and Donald Trump in 10 charts. This is views of the United States. Generally, people have a favorable view, although barely. Nice. Confidence in U.S. President Trump was down 50 points from Obama. It came up to 31 points in 2019. Many countries, younger people view the U.S. more favorably. The U.K. had more favorable views of Donald Trump. Almost like he was tied to the Brexit stuff. Or the same sentiment was, but even that was 32%. Received the most negative marks among 5 world leaders. Major foreign policies are unpopular globally. I don't know with this idea that everybody loves Trump. It's literally just like you just say whatever. That's it. I just have to keep that in mind. Remember, always remember that. You just say whatever. It's always memes. You just say whatever the fuck. It's all theater. It's all a meme. It's all theater. It's all a meme.
Still talking. So anyway, the point is like, no, of course, there's a lot of swagger to Donald Trump. The American people know that. That's why they overwhelmingly voted for the guy. That's why he got the popular vote. That's why he's winning across the board. I love how important the popular vote is now. Remember what I said before, is that things that didn't matter before, Republicans will always cite them when they're in their favor. That's why I said, like, coming into Donald Trump's presidency. So before, Republicans would say things like, oh, GDP and the markets don't represent the economy. Wait for it over the next 4 years as the economy is rebounding and will continue to rebound, right? As the GDP gets higher, as the markets climb higher, all of a sudden, all these people that said that GDP and the S&P 500, that these indexes don't matter. Now they're going to be citing them like crazy. And you hear it here, right? Remember, Republicans would always say a popular vote doesn't matter. Who cares what people in California think? That's not how our country works. But now, all of a sudden, now the popular vote, we got to bring it up every single time, you know? Voted for the guy. That's why he got the popular vote. That's why he's winning across the board. People overwhelmingly across the globe do actually love this guy. They like watching him.
Says who? Where?
They like listening to him talk. They like hearing his speeches. They enjoy this guy. When you say America's got a swagger back, that's exactly right. Donald Trump represents the don't F with us, America first policy that America has been known in the past for, and that we all
think, I guess it's all memes. It's all memes. It's even, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just pointing out the memes. Listen to what he's saying. Everybody around the world loves Donald Trump because Donald Trump has an FU America First policy. How does that even make sense? Wouldn't everybody around the world hate Donald Trump? And shouldn't that be good? Shouldn't you want them to hate Donald Trump because he has an America First policy? Like, these two things don't even make sense together. But it's just like, we're emoting here. All of this is like emotivism. You're just saying things that are expressing feelings about how much you love a person, and that's it.
All wanted back.
Julie, I mean, look, I know you've been quite critical of the way the Democrats have conducted their politics this year, but the Democrats desperately need somebody that can have the same effect, galvanizing, energizing effect and unifying effect on the party that Trump's had with the Republicans, given the scale of his win. I mean, it's an utter repudiation of so many things that Democrats thought they had the lead in. And you can't deny it. I mean, the scale of the win is what it is.
Well, let's not go crazy. The scale of his win was actually smaller than Joe Biden's.
Well, hang on. He won the popular vote. If I said he'd win the popular vote, if I said 6 months ago,
Also, for all you guys that were mad at me making a big deal about the narrative about his assassination and how quickly he stood up. This is why I fight on these little points, is because Republicans always build a million of these little points up to try to present a broader story. And whenever you try to fight them on any of the little ones, they know how important the little ones are. They won't give them up. They fight on them. But you guys think it's important to just like, oh, well, who cares if he stood up in 2 minutes or if he stood up instantaneously and jumped to his feet and, you know, started screaming the Pledge of Allegiance and say, I dare you to shoot me. Like, who cares? Does it really make the big of a difference? Right? This is a major talking point for them. It's very important in their mind that Trump overwhelmingly won the election. If you push on that at all, they're like, well, he didn't.
6 months ago,
winning
Trump,
the popular vote
if I
this
had
time
said
around.
to you 6 months ago, Trump will win the popular vote, you'd have laughed in my face.
It's non-responsive though. It doesn't, whether or not he wins the popular vote has nothing to do with the claim that he won like overwhelmingly.
He won the popular vote, the Electoral College, the White House, the Senate,
no, I
and the
wouldn't
House of
have.
Representatives.
I would have said
he won
no.
all 5. I mean, if you can't call that a massive win, what is it?
No, I'm not
Sounds like a
suggesting that
mandate to me.
Democrats did not royally.
Like, you should just ask, like, did Donald Trump win more or less than 50% of the American public's vote? Right? I don't even know if they would answer that question.
Well, can I speak, or do you want to keep interrupting, Flat Earther? Listen, here's the way I look at it. Democrats screwed up. Democrats don't know how to communicate. I've been banging the drum on this since 2015, if not earlier, since Trump came down the escalator. He's a master communicator to his base, and Democrats don't know how to speak to normal people.
No, it's not that Trump is a master communicator. It's that Donald Trump communicates well to people with 85 IQ, like these two are right now. That's the issue. That's why you're being asked to defend the intricacies of the fucking criminal justice system, and these two are able to contradict themselves every single time they open their mouths, and the impression is that you're losing. That's the issue.
We always speak and we lecture like we're from the podium at Harvard Law School. So you won't get an argument from me. I will tell you that whether it's Macron or anybody in your government peers or Vladimir Putin or anybody else, they have psychological profiles on Donald Trump, like we do on all other world leaders as well. And they understand exactly how to get what they want out of Donald Trump. And they know that flattery will get you everywhere with Donald Trump. All will be forgiven if you flatter him. Macron knows that well. That's why he engages the way he engages with him. That's why Putin engages the way he engages with him. That's why half of the people, like his own vice president, who thought he was basically the second coming of Adolf Hitler, and I'm not paraphrasing here, now know that if they bend the knee and if they flatter him, that all will be forgiven, and he will listen to them and he will take them into his confidence. And if you're Macron, you're in a country that is very dependent on America's NATO umbrella, if you're in a country that is trying to hold the EU together, if you're trying to hold a Western alliance together against an encroaching, newly aggressive Vladimir Putin, or maybe not so newly aggressive, you understand that the way to Trump's heart is to invite him to Notre Dame, to give him a seat pretty much next to Prince William or wherever he was sitting, and to make him the star of the show, because that is what Trump wants to do and wants to be. So this is not a surprise to me. It's a smart move by Macron to do that. It's a smart move by Xi to do that in China. Look, he all of a sudden went from threatening to nuke North Korea to becoming best friends with the North Koreans because the leader of North Korea decided to flatter him.
And what did North Korea?
Here.
Okay, but what did North Korea, China, or Russia do on Trump's watch in his first 4 years?
Well, North Korea continued to test their expansive ballistic missiles program. Russia continued to expand its war in the Donbass and tighten its grip on Crimea. And China, I don't know what, I'm sure China did something, I don't know. Continue to do their shit with the Uyghurs, I don't know. What do you think they did, Pierce? What did they scale back on?
What did North Korea?
Nothing.
Oh, they don't have the foreign policy. No, it's okay. You can't know everything. You have to know every single conspiracy. It's so easy on the peers and Republican side because you just basically make up like whatever the fuck you want. You can just say whatever you want. You can just say whatever the fuck you want. Wait, when did the whole Hong Kong shit and everything happen? Was that under Biden or was that under Trump? I don't even remember. The COVID fucked my mind. Was the Hong Kong stuff under Trump? Okay, well then that's all three. That's all three theaters that he's brought up. Oh, was it under Obama? Wait, Wicked Supreme said Obama 2014. I thought there was something else around COVID time that happened in Hong Kong, but I don't remember. I don't follow it close enough.
Trump's watch in his first 4 years.
What did North Korea?
Nothing.
What did they do on Trump's watch?
What did they do?
Are you suggesting? Are you suggesting?
She doesn't have the answer. Now she's doing rhetoric. But also, again, notice how he's pushing for specifics here. It's only ever specifics on the liberal side. How did the Hong Kong stuff end? Didn't it end poorly for the Hong Kongians? I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't follow this with any detail at all.
They didn't need to do anything because,
I'm just saying, you're saying
by
his
the way, the minute
you're
Trump
saying
gets,
his technique of actually having civil relations with these people is wrong.
It didn't work in any of these theaters. It didn't work anywhere. Oh, Russia expanded the war in Ukraine. Iran fucking bombed Saudi Arabia. Assad gassed his fucking citizens. The Palestinians fucking broke through the wall in the Gaza Strip. North Korea continued. Tillerson and Pence, I'm pretty sure, are both on, not on record, off record, like cursing out Trump for the North Korea negotiations. It's just failure after failure after failure. Donald Trump's foreign policy was a failure. There is no positive, like it was a failed foreign policy. The only win you could maybe try to carve out would be the Abraham Accords, and that's questionable at best.
North Korea,
damaging.
North
And I'm
Korea
saying,
developed.
where's the evidence it didn't work?
North Korea continued to develop missiles. China continued to develop its military
did that under Biden.
for potential attack on
They did that
Taiwan.
under Biden.
Okay.
And
All under Biden.
Okay.
Wait. Oh, wait. So then you're saying that Trump's foreign policy was just as good as Biden, right? Again, look at you can live in so many different worlds. It's got to be so freeing. Like I feel like when you become a Republican debater, it's this moment. No, it's not even the spoon thing. It's
How did I beat you? You're too fast. Do you believe that my being stronger or faster has anything to do with my muscles in this place? Think that's air you're breathing now?
true. You know what? It works actually. But it's like when you're a conservative, you can just say or do or throw out literally anything at all points in time, right? Like, why would you say that this happened under Biden too, when the whole point is that Trump is supposed to be so much better than Biden? Like, it doesn't even make sense. Yeah.
But that's the point, isn't it? They've all carried on doing exactly the same under Biden. You have the complete opposite way and says they're all enemies. Let me bring in Vinny.
But you're
And now we just
suggesting.
move to the next.
Go on. Go on, Julie.
Yeah. Piers.
Oh, now more from this dipshit who doesn't know anything about anything. These guys are all they don't know anything about anything. Like, none of these guys know any domestic or foreign policy. None of these guys know any foundational, anything. It's all good though. All right, I'm sorry. It's a theater. It's a play. Okay. It's just a meme. It's a meme. All right, it's all memes.
You're suggesting.
delusion on the right.
Hang on, Vinny.
that he's
Let
not
Julie
gonna-
finish
you're-
her point. I don't want to
Julie-
cut you off. I'll come to you. Vinny.
You're suggesting that if he doesn't pull out of NATO,
Do you really think knowing something makes you qualified to speak about it? True.
as he's said he
He
might
was never
do.
going to pull out of
You're
NATO.
suggesting if he doesn't immediately,
He was never going to put.
You're
It's
suggesting
another
you're
Democrat
suggesting-
load of bullshit.
Like, this is another thing, right? Hold on. Did he just say he was never going to pull out of NATO? Wait. If we know for a fact that he was never going to pull out of NATO, if you know for a fact he's never going to do the 1,000% tariffs, if you know for a fact he's never going to do these things, then how can he negotiate with them? If everybody knows that you're never going to do these things, then how are they negotiating tactics? You understand that that's self-defeating, right? These are contradictory positions.
Trump was never going to pull out of NATO.
Excuse me,
What
it's
he
not-
said.
Never.
What he
He
said was,
said
if NATO
if they don't pay their fair share, he will pull out of
I've
NATO.
interviewed him and talked to him privately about it. All he's ever said about NATO is he thinks the countries should pay their dues, and if they don't, why should
Okay,
America
what's-
keep bailing them out?
what-
What do you mean bailing them out? From what? What does he think the NATO dues are? For my understanding, I haven't dug into this. My understanding is the only thing NATO calls is that a certain percentage of your GDP goes towards your military funding. That's it. I don't think it's not like paid to America for defense. You don't pay protection services, but
Given America pays the lion's share of the cost. And guess what?
for our military, we pay for our military.
They're all paying their dues now.
What's going to happen?
They're all paying their dues.
What's going to happen? What is going to happen when he stops giving aid to Ukraine? What do you?
Although I will say, it's not even necessarily bad to pressure the NATO countries, though, to fund their militaries more. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. I think it's fine. But the problem is Trump's overall message on NATO, and then that's being a part, that part of it is just another, yeah.
you think Russia will do under Donald Trump?
I would not
If he
make
stops
any. I would
funding
not
Ukraine.
make any assumptions about what Trump is going to do to try and resolve the UK and Russia war. I talked.
Oh, cool. Wow, the UK and Russia war? UK or Ukraine? Got him.
Make any assumptions about what Trump is going to do to try and resolve the UK and Russia war. I talked to him last week about this, and I would not make any assumptions at all. People who think he's just going to give Putin everything he wants
I
are
pray
living
you
in
are
cloud
right.
cuckoo land. I can tell you. Well, let's wait and see.
But I
always think with
pray
Trump,
you are right.
Always think with Trump, much better to judge him on his actions than what he says. Vinny.
Or what you think he's going to do.
I think it's very, very difficult. Honestly, Andrew, I think it's an incredibly difficult thing to resolve. But
how can you even support a guy then if you don't even know what he's going to do? Like, what are you actually voting for? The face paint?
I do not think he's going to make one of the first things he does as president again to give Vladimir Putin a massive win. I just don't think it's going to happen. So how he navigates a settlement where that doesn't look like it's the story.
But why? But we have history on this. Didn't Donald Trump give the Taliban a massive win in Afghanistan? Isn't that explicitly what he negotiated? A full U.S. surrender and retreat? So why would we assume that he wouldn't do the same elsewhere? What's your basis for comparison?
It's going to be complicated, but I'm sure Trump is not going to want a Russian dictator to be throwing his hands up going, victory. I just don't see it. Vinny, let me end with you here.
Piers, here's my thing. The delusion of these leftists that Donald Trump, I'm going back to the beginning.
Oh boy, here comes more vague, unsubstantiated claims that's just alluding to broad feelings and vibes. Oh boy, this guy.
Of your question, isn't popular. Have you, the freaking Trump dance is all over the world. Yeah. Athletes all over, soccer players, football players. The guy is the most popular guy on the planet, hands down, period. And I'm telling you, Julie, I respect you, but you guys, I'm telling you right now, you guys have to start changing your tune. This fear porn of Donald Trump, you're losing. CNN is losing. MSNBC, Joyless Reed, they're done. If you guys don't start changing your freaking tune, you're going to be out of work. America has spoken. They want a freaking leader that goes to France and almost rips off Macron's arm. That's who we are. We're tough. Joe Biden would have been taking a nap.
The only thing, Vinny,
we need freaking somebody that has the balls to go talk shit. Vinny, nobody's believing your fear porn.
Vinny, the only sadness for me is that so far you have not been appointed the White House press secretary, because watching you at the podium every day would be one of the greatest things that I would ever watch.
It's like a Facebook comment section.
And I would do it, and I would mention your name. I would mention your name every single time I was there, Piers.
Thank you, Vinny. Another reason that you should get the job. Thank you to my panel. I appreciate it. These debates will run and run, but thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much. Well, joining me now for a quick update on a big development concerning Diddy and Jay-Z.
Surprise! This has been in the works for a while, but I can finally announce that I have sued the government.
Surprise, surprise!
To obtain all records related to the government's investigation of former President Donald Trump for retaining classified documents and trying to overturn the 2020 presidential election. Look, Donald Trump won the 2024 presidential election fair and square. We assume. And that means that the criminal cases against him are over, or at the very least are stalled indefinitely. So why would I do this now when Special Counsel Jack Smith is winding down both of his cases and Trump will return to power in January? Well, in the words of Supreme Court Justice Louis Brandeis, sunlight is said to be the best of disinfectants. In that vein, I, along with my co-counsel, believe that the American people have a right to know what the Department of Justice and the FBI discovered when they investigated Donald Trump. And so we filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia to challenge the DOJ's failure to process 2 FOIA requests for this historically important information. Now, the next chapter of the USA will be dominated by questions about the rule of law, secrecy, and government corruption. We just witnessed Trump's Attorney General nominee go down in flames because of an ethics investigation involving his sexual activity with underage girls. Unfortunately, we can't access those records because Congress is exempt from FOIA. But the Department of Justice and the FBI are not. We believe that their failure to process these FOIA requests is illegal, and so we're taking action. Now, Special Counsel Jack Smith is winding down the prosecutions against Donald Trump due to the long-standing Department of Justice policy that prohibits the criminal prosecution of a sitting president. This policy also found root in the Supreme Court's decision that Donald Trump enjoyed broader immunity.
Hold on.
Down the prosecutions against Donald Trump due to the long-standing Department of Justice policy that prohibits the criminal prosecution of a sitting president.
I don't know if I like that phrasing. The policy that prohibits. What is this? Would you say it's a policy that prohibits? I thought it was just the understanding that you probably couldn't do it. I don't know if it's technically impossible by legal or policy, like federal rule. I just think the idea is you probably can't do it. I think that's what Eric Holder said. I don't know if there's like an actual official policy saying that it's impossible or it's against the DOJ, unless they really passed a rule or something or established a rule saying it. I thought that this all just came out of that Eric Holder memo, but I think I could be wrong on that, but
This policy also found root in the Supreme Court's decision that Donald Trump enjoyed broad immunity from prosecution,
the immunity rule, though, basically solidifies that.
lest these troublesome prosecutors undermine the executive branch's ability to perform its constitutionally assigned functions. Official functions like pressuring state officials to find you just enough votes to ensure victory. Now, Smith requested that the federal courts dismiss both cases about Trump without
Yeah, it's an OLC memo, Office of Legal Counsel, which sits as the Department of Justice. Yeah.
prejudice, which means the case could be refiled if and when Trump is out of office. But there are numerous statute of limitations problems, and Trump may very well just pardon himself. And so Smith will resign from his position before Trump takes office along.
Can't policy also mean way of operating? Maybe, yeah. Yeah, policy and rule, probably all the same thing. It's just what the federal government decides to do. That's in accordance with the Constitution and congressional federal statute laws, yeah? I guess, yeah.
With an unknown number of attorneys who worked on the case. And as the Washington Post reported, Trump intends to fire all the lawyers who worked with Smith, including career attorneys typically protected from political retribution.
I just don't, no, actually, no, that wouldn't be true. Like, the Department of Justice, I believe, has, like, on-the-books policies for things that you're not supposed to do. I don't know if it's, like, a policy in the DOJ, like, do not indict a sitting president. I don't think that's, like, an official policy. I think it's just a thing that they think they probably couldn't do. Like, if they got challenged somehow in court, I don't even know how they would do that. It would be the federal government defending itself from the federal government. Yeah, I don't even know how they would do that. I'm not sure.
So there's already an effort underway to rewrite history and deny reality. That's why it's critically important to act now to capture the complete record of the federal prosecutions before the records are destroyed, altered, or God knows what the new administration will do with them. And the Freedom of Information Act is the legal vehicle that allows us to accomplish this, and it serves all Americans. It is indifferent to political party or ideology.